Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be something quick and something simple. I'm going to be sharing my experience, my little story time on getting gallstones while pregnant. I'm going to do a little disclaimer. I am not a medical professional. This is just my experience. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. So first I'm going to start off with what is gallstones. So the Google definition is a small hard mass formed abnormally in the gallbladder or bile ducts of the bile pigments, cholesterol, or calcium salt. Gallstones can cause severe pain and blockage of the bile ducts. So let's start off with my first signs. So my first signs before I had an attack were I just felt like I had a stomach ache, but more in like the abdominal area. I don't know how to explain it. It literally just felt like I had a stomach ache, like my stomach was bothered for no reason, and I was super duper bloated. Mind you, I was pregnant. I didn't really like pay that much attention to it. So fast forward to my first attack. That night I ate a Cuban sandwich, which let me just say, after this attack I haven't ate a Cuban sandwich since, because I am traumatized, you guys. That's how bad the pain was. That night I woke up from my sleep. I remember because I went to sleep early that night, and I woke up and I just felt like pain in my abdominal area, like under my breast. And it just felt like my bones were being crushed. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it was so bad to the point that I felt like I was in labor. My shoulders hurt really badly and I just couldn't stay still. And then that went on for like an hour, and after an hour I was still in pain, and then I ended up throwing up, and the pain kind of went away but not really. So I ended up going to the hospital, and only because I was like, what if I'm like going into labor? Like, is this associated to anything, any kind of pain from my pregnancy? So I went to the doctors, and you guys, by the time I got to the doctors, the pain went away. So let me just say, this is 2 hours after the attack started. After 2 hours, the pain went away, and that's when I got to the doctors. They did an ultrasound and they couldn't find anything. Well, they just told me if it comes back, take Tylenol, because you know you can't take much when you're pregnant. So I talked to my OB, I think a couple weeks after, to let them know the pain, and he was just like, oh, it's just gas pains, like don't stress it. After that, while pregnant, I had a couple of more gallstone attacks, but I didn't know they were gallstone attacks. Like I said, the signs and the symptoms that I had were shoulder pain, abdominal under the breast pains. It literally felt like my bones were being crushed. What else? Like, I couldn't stay still. Nothing I would do except for I would just get into these weird positions on all fours that would kind of help the pain, but they still didn't ever stop the pain. And I had those a couple of times after after the first attack and while I was pregnant. After I ended up giving birth, I had the pain again, and then it really raised a red flag for me, because I was like, the doctor told me that this was gas pains associated to pregnancy. So I was still confused on why I was having that pain and I wasn't pregnant anymore. Mind you, this night I ate a tripleta, and a tripleta is basically I think it's 3 kinds of different meats. It's kind of like a Cuban sandwich, but with 3 kinds of different meats. It was so freaking good. I haven't eaten one ever since that night either. So as soon as I started feeling that pain, you guys, I ended up going to the doctors. As soon as I felt it, I got in the car and drove to the hospital, because I was like, they're gonna tell me what this pain is, and I don't want to get there when the pain stops, you know. So I barely made it to the hospital, you guys. I'm telling you, I was driving in pain, in serious pains. Do not recommend driving like that, but you know, I really had no one to drive me. So I drove to the hospital. As soon as I got there, they did an ultrasound, and then once I got into the room, an hour later, they let me know that it was gallstones, and she was like, we're gonna get you in for surgery in the morning. So I called my husband and I was like, babe, I'm gonna have to have surgery. I literally cried. So the next morning I ended up having surgery, and let me just say, it was pretty simple and easy. I wasn't really in pain. A couple of days after my surgery, I was able to take care of my daughter. The weird thing about this surgery is that they literally, I'm not sure if it was, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it was something that they injected to me or if it was a pill that I took, but I literally took the pill. All I remember is saying bye to my husband, and then that was it. I woke up in the recovery room, and the pain was like a 5 out of 10. It wasn't that bad, and I didn't take any pain meds except for Tylenol, because I'm pretty sure I was still breastfeeding. I'm not sure. So a couple of days after this surgery, I ended up having a follow-up appointment where they checked your stitchings, and they checked everything to make sure you're okay. And the doctor told me that I am back to normal. I can eat whatever I want to eat. She didn't tell me there was nothing that I had to avoid. She just told me to go on with my regular life, which I think is BS, because I feel like you can still get gallstones if you continue to eat really bad food, especially after getting your gallstones taken out or getting your gallbladder taken out. Even though the doctor told me I could eat whatever I wanted to eat, I still ended up changing my diet. I went full on vegan. Every time I would eat anything that was greasy, I immediately had to go to the bathroom, which is a symptom of not having your gallbladder. But besides that, I don't really see anything that is too triggering. Like sometimes I go days without pooping, which sucks. So I try to avoid as much greasy foods as possible. I wish I would have done my own research on how to get rid of gallstones and just got healed more holistically than just getting it taken out. I really feel like it was an unnecessary procedure, even though it did help, and I'm not being ungrateful for that procedure. But I really do wish I would have taken a different route. Let me show you guys my little surgery scars that I still have till this day. Don't mind my stomach, I am postpartum of birth. But I have this one. Hold on. I have this right here, this one right here, and then also my belly button right there. But yep, you guys, that is my story on my gallstones, again, my gallbladder taken out. If you are having these pains, talk to your doctors and let them know that you think it might be gallstones. And if you have the means and the money to try to get healed holistically, or look up how to get rid of gallstones without having to get your gallbladder taken out. But yeah, you guys, let me know if you want another story time or what else you guys want to see, and don't forget to like this video, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.